Hey, 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 this is Luci McMonagle, and I am coming to you on Wednesday for my weekly Facebook Live. And I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what is in your mental garden, and also how do you clean that up if it's preventing you from having success. So if you don't know who I am, if you haven't met me as of yet and you're just discovering who I am, my name's Luci McMonagle. I am the author of Magical Money Manifestations. And today I'm going to be talking about the garden exercise, which is actually on page 53. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably a bad holding because I'm holding the cell phone with my hand. And and I'm outside because my wonderful jack is actually on the bottom of the phone, so if I try to put the phone on a stand, I'll be upside down or sideways or looking really weird, and we don't want to do that. So I am the author of Magical Money Manifestation. I'm known as a spiritual leader and a mystic wealth mentor. And what my specialty is I empower entrepreneurs who are visionaries, who are up to something big in this world. They're ready to really break through the multiple six-figure level and get onto the seven-figure level per year. And today I'm going to be talking about the basics of how do you change your mindset and what's also going on in your mental garden, so that we can understand how you can move forward in your life and in your business. So if you have any comments below, or if you catch this afterwards, please put the comments below so that I can answer your questions. I'm going to be answering your questions. And one of the very first things I'd like to have you look at is what is really going on in your mind, what is really going on in your life. And if you start paying attention to what's going on in your inner mind, you're going to start noticing there's a resemblance between what's happening inside here and what's going on outside there, outside in your life. And I could give you some very funny examples, but I will save my friends embarrassment and give a different example. That as an example, last year I started making mind movies, and if you don't know what mind movies are, please make sure you look them up. Natalie Ledwalls is absolutely amazing, and her mind movie program is powerful, to say the least. So I started doing things on wealth, and some of the pictures I put on there was these really beautiful houses, these really beautiful bathtubs, because I really love water and water elements. And just shortly after that, I started feeling uncomfortable at where I was living. And I wasn't sure exactly why, just, kept moving on. I didn't correlate my beautiful pictures of quote-unquote wealth with moving. And when I started to really piece together all of these elements, I started to have friends, family, and people come to me and start talking to me about, oh, well, why don't you consider buying instead of renting? And I've been a digital nomad for 6 years, and I've been having a lot of fun having that freedom. And as soon as I finally made the decision, now that's the first part of cleaning out your mental garden, is when you make the decision to do something different, then things start moving. So I finally made the decision to purchase, and I started looking for all these houses, and I had my list, and it was very important to have a list. I had negotiable, what I'm willing to negotiate on whether or not I want on the house, non-negotiables, absolutely must have, and then the wish list. And some things you have to really pay attention to when you're starting to look for the clues that the universe and your subconscious mind is working for you. So starting to put the clues together, starting to look for them, starting to take the action. So first you make the decision, then you start looking for the clues, then you take the action, and you start paying attention. What's going on up here? Do I have weeds in my mindset? Do I have little gremlins? Or do I have other things that are preventing me from the success? If you start having unexplained anxiety, if you start having more stress, if you start more frustration, that's some clues and telltale signs that there's something going on in your mindset, your subconscious, that's moving you outside of your comfort zone. And these are good things because you can utilize this as a catalyst to move forward so that you are able to create more momentum. So moving forward, I was able to keep looking for these houses, and I created a deadline that I wanted to move out in March, and then I kind of moved it to the end of April, and then I was like, oh, it's flexible, and then all of a sudden, as soon as I started saying it's flexible, my former landlord didn't even put my house up on sale. He sold the house that I was in. And I'm like, oh, I don't have time. I need to find a new place to live now. And sorry if the phone's shaking because I'm holding it in my hand. So I was like panicking. Plus I had a 3-week trip going on, and houses normally take approximately 30 to 40 days, 45 days to close. And so it's at the end of March, and I'm on the road for 3 straight weeks. I don't get home until the 25th of March. On the 26th of March is when I went shopping again. I finally found the house. And it took 24 days to close. So there's a relevancy in the 24 because if you do numerology, 2 plus 4 is 6. The house number, if you add all of the numbers, it's a 6, which means it's really good for a home-based business. It's very good for stability. It's good for having individuals, having people come together and groups. And then when you start looking at, okay, so I made the decision, I started following the clues, I started taking the actions. And when you get nervous and frustrated, you know that you're changing your reality, changing your mindset, and then you actually start finding what you're looking for. Sometimes it's very, very quickly, and other times you might have the 11th hour miracle like I did, where at the very last minute, boom, you finally found it. And how does this quantify and how does this work with your mindset is being able to really look at what was the thoughts that I was having, what was the thoughts that were going through my mind. Was I trusting? Was I reaffirming? Was I utilizing that information so that I could truly have a full function relationship with my new manifestation? So some of the telltale signs that you found what you're looking for, even if it doesn't quite match your list, is how do you feel? When I looked at this house, I left and I felt like I was abandoning a part of myself. It was a very strange feeling. So I came back the second time during the same day, looked at the house in between 3 or 4 other houses, I just felt like I was coming home. And so I knew that this was the right house for me. So let's talk about the garden and your mental mindset. Now you're going to see this phone shaking. I'm going to be moving around because I just cleaned out my garden yesterday. And it was pretty gnarly out here. It was filled with all kinds of weeds and bushes, and now I just got it cleaned out yesterday. This plant right here is oregano, and I thought that was a weed. I almost ripped it out of there. And fortunately, I found a little tiny note that says oregano in it. And so I had fresh oregano in my salad last night, and I had fresh onions in my salad. So as I was pulling these weeds out of here, out of this space, so that I could have empty spaces, and cutting back this rose bush, which was wildly crazy, and it was sticking out on the edge here, so that I could clean up the spaces, I was cleaning out what was going on in my mind. So when you imagine something such as weeds and associating these weeds with what's going on in your mindset, you actually imagine pulling these out with ease and with grace and then incinerating them. Now, the thing, I did not burn my weeds because it's really, really hot here in Arizona. But in the wintertime, I can turn on my fireplace here, which is a gas fireplace outside, and I can burn my weeds. So when you're wanting to clean up your mindset, start paying attention to what's going on inside your mind. Imagine these negative thoughts, these frustrations, these irritations as weeds, things that you no longer want in your life. And then pull them out, pluck them out, and throw them in an incinerator. After you throw them in the incinerator, now what? Now we have fertile ground. So what do you do next? You start planting the right seeds, the positive affirmations. And just as any garden bed that you're going to have, you also have to have maintenance. You have to make sure there's no bugs that come in, which is mental viruses. You have to make sure that you keep on top of the soil and keep it nice and soft and fresh. And also, when you plant things in there, such as positive affirmations, you actually start paying attention to what do you want to plant. You have this beautiful ground that you can work on now, and now you can move forward. So I hope you've taken notes and you've been able to find some value in this short Facebook Live. And if you haven't gotten my book, Magical Money Manifestations, you can get it on Amazon. And then if you go to my website, magicalmoneymanifestations.com, you'll be able to find out on how to get bonuses for buying the book on Amazon. So again, my name's Luci McMonagle. If you had any questions, if you had any comments, please make sure you put them below, and I can be able to get back to you so that I can understand what you're needing. And until next week, I'm wishing you an abundant blessings, and I'm sending you much, much love. So have a great Wednesday, and take care.